Hi everyone, I'm Ferd and welcome to my video. Today I'm working on this Kubota. It's a TG 1860G. This thing is water cooled, it's old, and it's locked up, we think. Now if you hit the key, put the brake on, you just get a click out of it. The thing was dumping oil out of the bottom of it. That's a bad sign. I'm gonna pull the deck off first thing and get up under it and see if I could turn this thing by hand. Okay, I got the engine out, got a lot of stuff off of it. I'm probably gonna have to take it apart some more. But right now, I got this pulley off, the flywheel's still on there. And I wanna try to move this thing and get it a little bit loose before I pull this cover off of it. Because I'm thinking it only had maybe a half a quart of oil in it, and it was running dry, and usually it'll seize up here at that journal at the top where the flywheel is. So if I can just jiggle that and get it broke loose, I'll be able to pop this off and then work with it once I get inside of there. And I don't see this happening at all. I'm gonna pop this seal out of here and see what we've got underneath. There we go. You see aluminum jammed up inside of here. At this point, I realized this was going to be a complete rebuild. So I tore the engine apart, and with everything out of it, including the pistons and rods, I sat it on top of a 5-gallon oil bucket and used a big hammer with a 3/4 inch socket to protect the threads, and was able to very aggressively tap the crankshaft and the sleeve out of the block without damaging it. A large hydraulic press would be ideal to perform this task. I just don't have one. Now to get this out of there, I don't know why I grabbed this thing, but it was like the best 3/4 inch socket. It looked brand new. And I used that and this big old hammer to smack it down through there. But I had no other choice. It was either that or a new block and a crankshaft. So luckily I was able to get all that out of there. I'm gonna try to get this off of there, and then I'll get a new sleeve, press it down in here, and everything should be okay. I can clean this thing up and put it back together. Now they have a sleeve on it, and it came out with the crankshaft, and it's still stuck on there. So my plan is to take this little angle sander, and I'm gonna just grind away on that until I get down to a real thin part of it and see if I can just knock that off of there. Okay, that wasn't that hard to sand through, and I've gotten down to a little layer right here. I got me a block up against this, kind of helped me hit it and hold it at the same time. Let's see if we can peel this thing back, get it off of there, and get a new one. Oh yeah, it's breaking right off there. There we go. I'm going to clean that off that shaft. polish this thing up, and then we can start putting this thing back together. Whenever I'm working with a crankshaft, a little one like this, I always find it so much easier to take just a little bit of time and an old 2x4 laying around and build a little stand for it. It makes it so much easier to work with this thing than to have it flopping around on your bench. Luckily, I know a woodworking guy in the shop right next to me that could make me one fairly fast, easy, and cheap. I'm going to be getting this aluminum off there with some muriatic acid. But the first thing we need to do is degrease this thing. So I got some brake cleaner or parts cleaner, whatever you want to call it. And we're just going to spray a little on there and get that oil off of it. And we'll do this a couple of times, because when you start breaking up that aluminum, there's oil embedded in it, and the oil will come back out. Kind of takes away from the acid being able to work on it. So I got a little toothbrush. I got my acid in this little cup back here. I got this to catch some of the drippings when they fall. And let's put that on there and see what happens. And you can see right away how that acid is reacting to that aluminum. It's kind of eating away at it. Do this in a well-ventilated area. I got a little fan up there. Try to blow this stuff away from my face. I'm going to leave it work on a little bit. I'll come back in a few minutes, wipe it off, and take a look at it. All right, it's been about 10 minutes, and there's still some pretty good sized chunks. So I'm going to go over it again, and it's not reacting very well, so I'm going to clean it off. I don't want to mix the two chemicals. I'm going to degrease it again. This is laid on there pretty good, so it might take a few times to get it off. Got all the aluminum off of it. So I'm going to take this off there, and I'm going to clean it up and get that acid off of it. And then I'm going to bring it down here, and we're going to start polishing it. Okay, I got about maybe 3 feet of rope here. I've got honing solution, and I'm going to get some of that on the crankshaft, and I'm going to put some on my sandpaper. This works a lot better than oil. I'll take my sandpaper, wrap it around there a couple times, overlap it. Then I'm going to take my rope, go around it about 2 or 3 times, hold that paper tight, and then using the rope and some 500 grit, I'm going to sand the heck out of it. Turn my crankshaft around the other way. Going back and forth. And let's take it out and look at it. And we use a clean rag and wipe this thing off. And you can see what we got now. Beautiful. Looks beautiful. And if you want to, you could go up to 1200 grit. A lot of people just use 500. I'll go over that a couple more times. We'll go ahead and hit this one in the center. And let's take it off and look at it. Looking real good. Looks real good. Okay, I got her all sanded down. Rubbed her down with some motor oil to keep it from rusting. I'm going to wrap it in plastic until I'm ready to use it. This is our new sleeve that goes in there, and it fits nice. So we'll get that pressed down into the block, get that block cleaned up, and put this thing back together. Some special tools you may need for this next step are a hammer and a discarded railroad spike from the CSX main line. The block's cleaned up. Always preach hard about getting these things very clean when you're rebuilding them like this. And we need to put a new sleeve in for the crankshaft. Came out right here. So this is how I'm going to do it. First, I'm going to lay this thing down flat. And I'm going to take my little sleeve and I'm going to just get it started. I got the back side of a hammer here. And let's set it up like this. I got this big bolt and a washer. The washer is 1 3/4. It's a 1/2 inch bolt, 3.5 inches long. And very carefully, without hitting that new bushing we got in there, I'm going to slide that through and then put this washer in on the other side of it. Take this nut. I'm going to get that on there and get everything centered. And then I'm just going to crank it down and push it through there. And it looks like it might be going in a little crooked. I'm going to give it a little tap. Got a railroad spike. This process of tightening and tapping took about 20 minutes total to get this bushing installed. The same thing goes for this as in removing it. If you have a shop press or you got a friend that has one, that would be your best way to remove and install this bushing. All right, it's in there. That was rough. We're ready to put in our crankshaft. We got to put this seal in. One of the main reasons that this engine is sitting here is because of these seals. The one on the bottom in particular was leaking really bad. It just fell out when I pulled the engine and got the pulley off of it, and it was leaking like crazy. So what I'm going to do, when I put these in, I'm putting a really thin coat of Permatex #2 around the outside edge of this. I normally don't do that when they're rubber like this, but with these, I want to make sure that they get a good seal around there. So that's my reasoning for doing this. So let me get this thing on here and get my hammer out and tap it on down in there. And one thing I want to kind of note about this seal is there used to be different part numbers for them, but they're actually now calling for the same seal on the top and the bottom of these. Tap around the outside edge, even with the top of it. This thing's ready. It's oiled up. Got it wrapped so nothing would get on it and it wouldn't rust before I got to it. And I'm going to go ahead and put some assembly lube on here and here for right now. This is the governor rod. This doesn't have to be installed at this point, but can be if you choose. I'm doing it now to give a better view of its position in the block once it's installed. Replace the seal where it will exit to the outside. Lube the rod. From the inside, slide it through the hole, through the seal to the outside front of the block. Properly installed, you can see how it's positioned between these two pins. Now we could take our crankshaft and install it. Everything looks good. Now we can put our pistons back in. For the rest of the build of this engine and all the videos related to it, check the video links below and click that notification bell to get notified as soon as I put them up there. There's a lot of hidden secrets to put this water-cooled engine together, and I'll show you them there. But for now, let's start this thing up. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some good information out of it. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button on the way out and join the channel. Got a lot of videos up there, got a lot more coming. Ring that notification bell. You'll get notified as soon as I put them up there. Remember to stay safe in the shop, wear your safety gear, eyeglasses, and have fun. Thanks for watching.